Okay, so the wife wants a raised flower bed, so we're gonna put it right here, and bought some of these planter blocks. They use 2x6s. I've got a 12-foot long board, and I bought two 8-foot boards to cut in half. So this is 4 foot by 12 foot, and then whatever the planter block adds to it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut around the edges of the planter box, dig the grass out, and once I dig the grass out, I'm going to put a barrier beneath, and it's going to be too high, so it's going to be a foot high, 12 foot by 4 foot at minimum. And then I got some sod, topsoil, and also some planting stuff. My wife also had two little raised boxes built. I think that's built out of cedar. Those two, I'm gonna put those out there somewhere too. So I'm gonna get started on this. So I'm gonna cut out all around the edge for the grass, then remove the blocks and the wood out of the way, remove the grass, and then I'll reset the wall blocks and the boards back in place, and then fill it up. And like I say, put a barrier screen in the bottom of it to stop things from growing through at the bottom. Okay, I've cut all the way around the edges. I'm going to remove the boards so I can take the grass out of the middle. I'm going to cut the grass in squares like they do sod when you buy it, and so I can reuse it. Got some places that aren't very good for growing grass, and they excuse me, they've just got dead grass there. Well, some of these places don't look that great either, but I've cut all the way around the edge. I'm not going to finish this in one day, that's for sure, so you will be seeing me in different clothes, probably the same pants, because these are my get dirty pants. Got holes all in them, but I work in them, and I metal detect in them. So it's almost time for me to quit. I'm gonna try to cut some of the grass out and get it started. Got about another 30 minutes. This is a day that I work, and I'm working from 12 to 9, so if I wake up earlier in the morning, I can get more done. But hopefully by this weekend I'll have it done. All the grass pulled, all the stuff filled in, and everything, have it evened out and everything to where it's level. As you can see, it's not really level. Boards are sticking up over there, you know, on edge, which means the ground's not level because it's not sitting down in there all the way. And we'll get the other boards stacked on top, everything filled in, hopefully by the weekend. I'll try to finish this for the wife so she can start planting her vegetables. But I'll take these boards out of the way so I can pull the grass out from below where I cut it, because I don't want it to rain or something and fill in all the cuttings, and I can't figure out where I cut it at. So let me get started on that, and we'll film that in time lapse like I did the last portion of cutting the grass. So I've got a sharpshooter, I've got a what's called a root slayer, which I use for metal detecting. I use that to cut the edges, because that's definitely a good cutting. Anything underneath it pretty much gets demolished. So use that to cut, because there's a tree over there, and the tree roots definitely hit some. That part of the ground is a lot drier because water rolls down here. It's kind of a dip in the center here to, I guess, help drainage, but it's not really level. I need to do some lawn leveling too with some topsoil, but be another project for the grass to come through instead of this weed stuff. Need to pull all that up. But now I'm gonna put you on time lapse and try cutting some of this grass out, but I'll cut the squares first, but just to keep up with what I'm doing. I was going to put that flower bed over in this area, but my wife thought it wouldn't get enough sun. I don't know, in the heat of the summer, I think this might have been a good place to keep it, but just going to have to water constantly. Seems like we live under a dome in our neighborhood, because we can see it rain all around us, like pouring down, but we never get any rain. Some of that grass is going to come over here. I'm gonna have to dig this little area out, because for some reason it will not grow grass. Dig the dirt out and put some of that grass I'm taking up for that flower bed right here. Hopefully I can get it down to some decent dirt. I put sod on top of this last year. As you see from this spot, for some reason it always dies. So we'll try it again, dig out the dirt. I even loosened the dirt up underneath it. I'm gonna try that again, and just dig out this top dirt somewhere and put it somewhere that we need some leveling, and see if that'll work. One thing I forgot to mention is that before you start digging, get everything marked. Here in the Houston area, you dial 811, I think it is, and my wife wanted it along one of the fences, but as you see along the fence, here's my fiber connection over here. Here's the AT&T connections here for like DSL and stuff like that. And as you see right here, it says call 811 before you dig. More AT&T connections go over to other homes over here. I used to have DSL, now I got fiber from AT&T. We got CenterPoint Energy lines, but they all run along the fences. So before digging anywhere, you want to mark your lines. I only had the backyard marked. I'm looking to put in a sprinkler system. I've been wanting it for 20 plus years at this house, but don't have it yet. But time for me to knock off for today, and I'm going to maybe come out here at night. Y'all get some night video, headlamps and all of that good stuff. But since I'm a nocturnal person, I'm going to come out here probably this evening. I can get a lot more done because I'm more wide awake in the night than I am during the daytime. Now it's time for me to go to work. Okay, as you see, that took me a little bit. I know it's time lapse. That was about an hour and 40 minutes minimum to clean this area off here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to loosen up some of this soil under here, although I'm going to cover it with a mat, the weed barrier, and then I'm going to try to get this leveled out as best I can. And then I got some topsoil and some fertilized soil over there, but the fertilized soil is for those 2 standalone planter boxes over there. And I'm going to need to buy some more because I need about 20 more bags of topsoil or other soil to cover this area for 12 inches by 12 foot by 4 foot. So I'm going to chop this up a little bit, try to level it out, but loosening up this soil, leveling it out, and then I'll try to get the weed barrier on there, and then after the weed barrier I'll start filling it with the topsoil and the fertilized soil. Only got about another hour or 50 minutes to an hour before I have to start work again, and I didn't do any nighttime stuff last night, but maybe the easy part will be filling it and everything and getting it level, so maybe I can do the nighttime stuff tonight. But that's where I'm at now. About another hour to go for doing the groundwork, literally the groundwork. Okay, now I'm going to go get my rake and try to smooth this all out, kind of chop it up a little bit and get it smooth, and then fill it in and try to pat it down and level it out without compacting it too much. As you could see with me digging it out, you can see how dry it is and how packed it is by the clumps it comes out in. But I'm gonna have to quit shortly. I need to take me a shower at 11:30 because I need to be at work at 12 today on Good Friday. But luckily I usually work Saturdays and I get a 3-day weekend, so hopefully I'll get this finished in the next day. Now, like I said, if I can get this leveled out and everything tonight, I'll do some night work and get it done so I can spend my Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off doing some metal detecting. If y'all like metal detecting, y'all should check out some of my metal detecting videos if you like to see what kind of stuff we found. It's interesting sometimes it's repetitive, but it's fun, gets me out, gets me some exercise, because I've done a lot more metal detecting during COVID, and because I'm working from 12 to 9 Tuesday through Saturday. And most people talk about gaining weight. Well, I've lost 20 pounds since I've been working from home and being able to metal detect a few hours every day. So be right back, get the rake, try to break some of this stuff up, spread it out, get it leveled out, filled in. Well, that last tool I was using is a weed hoe to kind of spread it, but it's time for me to go take my shower, time to get back to work. So I'm gonna definitely try to get out here tonight, be outside of some of this heat, and get the board built and everything, and hopefully I'll be able to get video in the dark. I got some motion sensor lights I haven't mounted, so I'll set them around me, and hopefully the lights will stay on. Okay, I'm gonna put the weed barrier down. I'm gonna put it on top of this here because this is a little hard. It's not gonna be easy to smooth out. But we'll put the weed barrier down, and then I'm gonna take some of the topsoil and fill it in with topsoil to kind of level it out. Got my level. Try to get the grass level level up to the grass, and get the beds sidings level, and then build it up and fill it up. My wife can plant what she wants this weekend or Monday. But that's where we're going now. Okay, I know these bags is 1.5 cubic feet per bag, so I'm gonna have to do a measurement because I'm not exactly sure. I know the boards are 4 foot by 12 foot, and as you see, this one board is extremely bowed, but when I put the dirt in there, I'm gonna have the dirt pressing against it, so I'm not gonna take this board back because it'll just bow back out like this and line up. I'll force the dirt over to where it will hold this. So I'm gonna have to measure this because I know I probably got about 6 inches, so maybe a foot on each end due to the distance of the blocks, to see how many bags I need. When I calculated 12 by 4, it was 32 bags. I used 12 just leveling this out, or semi-leveling it out to get it set up and everything. But I'm gonna go to Home Depot now, get bags after I measure the correct distance, and then we'll see how many bags it takes. Probably take me 2 trips. Had 12 bags in my CRV, and that was pretty much almost a full load. But if I take a couple things out, I can get more in. But I'm going to try to get as little of a trip as I can. Okay, so here's going to be the finished product of the vegetable bed. My wife has 2 little boxes, planter boxes that she had made. I'm not much on carpentry, so I don't have the tools for cutting, and I do have hammers, I do have a handsaw, but it's all manual stuff. So got them built pretty cheap by a guy that we always see doing woodworking in the neighborhood. Went to get some dirt and stuff for these 2. There's another one down there, but it's Easter Sunday. Home Depot was closing just as I pulled up, and it looks like Lowe's has been closed all day, so won't get to fill those up. Hopefully I can grab some tomorrow after I get through metal detecting. One thing that I didn't think about, I could say, don't do much woodwork. For the sideboards, I stacked them too high, and I used 2 different boards when I could have gotten 6x12s instead of 6x6. So that's one thing I would recommend. I could have gotten 6x6 boards. I mean 2x12 boards instead of 2x6 boards for the ends and all that, since they're 12 inches high, instead of having 2 boards. And what made me think about it was when I saw somebody else doing it. I have this one board that, as I said, has a pretty good warp in it, and if you can see up close with the warp, it's not sitting flat. Even though I've got it pushed out a little bit, it's just kind of warped in both directions instead of sitting flat against each other. It doesn't do that. So a 2x12 would have been perfect for that. I don't know, I may change them out, not exactly sure. Maybe if they rot out, maybe I'll change them out after that, but right now I'm not. But pretty easy build. The only thing that I could give you is if you want to cut out the grass, they have little tools you can rent that are sod cutters, and they'll literally slice that grass up for you at the right depth so you can use it for sod, and you can just take it and roll it up and cut it at the lengths that you want. I did it all by hand. It's not like I can't use the exercise, but it is pretty tough. So in the last few days for this is pretty much 45 bags like 20, maybe, no, I said 12 and then 27. So 39 bags of topsoil. I only got 2 bags of compost and manure, and then 4, all of these were 40 pounds bag, 4 bags of vegetable and garden topsoil, which I got on the top. Probably mix it up a little bit with the shovel so I can just mix it around real good, get it all mixed up and set in there. But that's the finished product. Like, the only thing I'd really change is maybe you'd rent a sod cutter, and maybe you would use 2 by 12 inch boards if you're doing a foot. But if you're doing different levels, you can use 2 by 12 and 2 by 6s, depending on what I've seen with other ones. I've seen the 3-tier, then drop down to a 2-tier, and then drop down to a 1-tier. So that would be an 18, a 12, and then a 6-inch board, the way I've seen one of the other planters that was actually on display at Lowe's. But not bad, not too hard. Good exercise for me. But other than that, I think that's done. My next job is to fill those in boxes. I gotta plant this little nectarine tree that my wife bought. Pretty good, since I like nectarines. So it says to cut a hole about 3 times the size of the pot. So already got that done using my metal detecting shovel. Looks like I cut a plug, like I do with a metal detector, if you can see that moving. Gotta take it out, but I gotta get some dirt. Don't want to put it down in there until I get some dirt, but I got a pretty good size plug cut out of there, and I'll flip that out, cut the grass off the top of it, probably use that somewhere else. I've got spots in my yard that need grass for sure, where grass isn't growing well or just not getting enough water and dying. But I'm trying to get this yard together. I'm gonna have my lawn guy come and weed and mulch for me, because I don't have all the tools for all of that anymore, since my lawn guy's been doing it for like 20 plus years. Got rid of a lawnmower a long time ago. A lot of my hand tools for weeding and everything. Hopefully I'm going to get a sprinkler system. I'm going to try to level this yard some, which that I'll do on my own, trying to level the yard. The sprinkler system, I'll have somebody do it, and the lawn guy's going to come and weed and mulch for me. And got one section of fence to finish still. My neighbor in the back did this one. I paid for material and helped a little bit because he built it himself. My neighbors over there, they did this one. They did a lot of remodeling on the house. They put a back patio on, a lot of work in the inside, but they had this side of the fence built and paid some money on that. And then me and my neighbor here got a guy that's gonna do that section of fence. Just the price of wood so high. Probably gonna get this patio covered right here, so we can have some sun protection, because our house faces west, and from noon till like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night it gets heavy sun. So it's hard to keep this grass from dying back here, and also all of our plants from dying back here. So plant the nectarine tree, put some topsoil in the planter boxes on the end there, level the yard, and I think that'll be done. That should be it.